Welcome to the Desert Scene with Bonnie G from the Mutual Broadcasting System, where we explore the vibrant world of arts, culture, and entertainment in the desert. Join us as we uncover the hidden gems and shining stars that make this arid landscape burst with creativity. Brought to you by El Portal Mexican Restaurant in Cathedral City, where authentic cuisine meets affordable prices. Diving into the desert oasis of talent and inspiration, here's Bonnie.
And welcome to the Desert Scene. So happy to have you here, and very happy to welcome to the show Julie Cardia. She and her twin sister Jana are doing one of the shows, the CV Rep Summer Cabaret Series. That's just coming up July 24th. Hi, Julie. How are you?
Hi, Bonnie.
So we spoke to you. I believe it was you last. Was it you last year or your sister that we spoke to?
Yeah, it was me. And in fact, I think it was actually earlier this year in January when I was at Coachella Valley Rep doing their production of POTUS.
That's right. Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. This is exciting. And of course, I've got to ask you, and I probably did before, but being a performer and having a twin sister who's also a performer, that's unique and fun, I guess, in ways. But is there ever any conflict there or competition or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. And we definitely explore that throughout our show, Twinspiration. And, you know, through the years, what we've realized in the beginning of our careers, we were always being sent out and still are sent out for the same roles. But we just realized very quickly that if we're not going to be in each other's corners and be behind one another, then it's going to make for a not a very fun journey.
Absolutely.
In the business.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I think we've always been competitive, but I actually feel like it brings out the best in both of us.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, in certain seasons and stages of our lives, sometimes we're not as graceful with it as other times.
Uh-huh.
But now, you know, now that we are the age we're 50, and we're so fine with just, we always root for each other. If she doesn't get it and I get it, that's great. And vice versa, that's great too. So we keep it in the family.
Well, now tell me what obviously, I mean, twins are twins, but they've got to be, everyone is their own individual person. Just from a performing standpoint, from sort of your performing persona, what would you say there've got to be some slight differences between the two of you, would you say?
Yeah, there are. I mean, technically speaking, we do a lot of musical theater. Jana is a soprano, and I am a mezzo, which means I have a lower voice than her. Mm-hmm. So technically speaking, there are certain roles that she will play simply because of her vocal range, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. As far as I would say our essence, we are both character actors and both comedians. Mm-hmm. I would say, however, that I've probably played some more vulnerable, more dramatic roles, and it might be because, you know, I had gone back to school to get my master's, and so I was really working on pieces like that. Mm-hmm. As opposed to Jana, you know, when we moved to LA, she really got into the whole commercial scene and sitcom scene. Mm-hmm. So she has more been honing her comedic skills for commercial and TV.
Okay.
So I would say, as far as that, like, I think we've just kind of found ourselves doing different things individually. Mm-hmm. Yes. Drawn to different types of writing, you know, whereas one does more dramatic and one does more comedic. But I also will say, because we are character actors, we're both extremely versatile. Mm-hmm. And so that has allowed us a longevity in our career that kind of allows us to do both.
Yeah, that's great. One more question, then we're going to take a break. When did you actually start? I mean, did you guys both know as kids, this is it? This is what we're going to do?
I don't think we understood what having a career as an actor looked like. Mm-hmm. But I think as children, our parents were so supportive and encouraging of our singing and our putting on plays and just allow it. You know, all kids have great imaginations, but I think we just took it to the extreme. And luckily we had support. We had a lot of teachers that kind of pointed us in the right direction and said, you know, once we got to an age where, wow, this is something that you could feasibly do for a career, we had a lot of really great teachers that were able to express to our parents, like, you know, they should go to college for this. They should get an education in this. Right now, this is, you know, they obviously have a natural talent that has been bestowed, but we need to craft this.
Right.
And so, you know, we grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, and luckily we had a great exposure to theater and to to teachers in music and dance and acting. So that was really, in our formidable years, that was really important, I think.
Great to have that support. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on the Desert Scene. We're talking to Julie Cardia. We'll be right back.
Craving a delicious meal that won't break the bank? Look no further than El Portal Mexican Restaurant in Cathedral City. At El Portal, we pride ourselves on offering family-friendly dining with affordable prices on our authentic Mexican cuisine. Owner Victor Lucurcio and his dedicated staff make you feel like part of the family. Whether you choose to dine in, take out, or opt for delivery, you can always count on fresh, mouth-watering dishes that will transport you to the heart of Mexico. Enjoy discounts throughout the week and explore one of the Valley's best selections of tequila to complement your meal. Join us for live entertainment on Friday evenings and consider El Portal for your next special occasion with our catering services. Visit eatelportal.com for more details and discover why El Portal Mexican Restaurant has become a culinary gem in the desert. El Portal, located 1 block south of Ramon on De Palm and Via Olivera.
And we're back on the Desert Scene with Julie Cardia, who is doing a cabaret show as part of CV Rep Summer Cabaret Series with her twin sister, Jana. It's called Twinspiration. Is that correct? How did that just pop into your head as the name?
We've done about 4 other shows, and so for some reason the titles are always really important to us, because it's kind of where we are, what we want to share with an audience at this moment in our lives. And I think right now, I mentioned that we're 50 years old, and we're in a point where I think reflection on what has brought us, you know, to this 5th decade in life is really important. And so that's where Twinspiration came from. What was the inspiration for us doing this? Who were the people that inspired us to keep going? And that's what it kind of covers, like the inspiration of us as individuals, but also as artists and human beings.
So how did you choose material for this?
I think that's the most fun part, because we have been singing together since we were 3-4 years old. We have so many songs in the arsenal that we could sing. But again, it's like, what do you want to sing? There's a lot of songs that people expect you to sing as twin sisters that are singers.
Yeah.
But what speaks to us at this moment? So, for example, we actually, yes, of course, there's a lot of musical theater songs. There's a song from Dear Evan Hansen, a song from The Prom, a song from the new musical that won the Tony Award this year, The Outsiders. But then we have the very first song in the show is a Casey Musgrave song, which is a country pop artist, right? Okay. So, you know, like, I think our taste has always been eclectic. But also, again, when you're performing on a stage, we like to keep it interesting. We like to add choreography. There's a boa or two thrown in there.
Of course.
You know, musical theater kind of enhances that, you know.
Now, is it just piano, or do you have a trio behind you?
Once we so we're calling this kind of our out of town tryout, but I think once it goes well, we really want to incorporate a trio. Our cousin is a jazz pianist, and our dad's a drummer. Like, we really want to incorporate, like, literally make it like a Partridge Family affair.
Oh, that's great. So, but for this show on the 24th, is just piano?
It's just piano. Our pianist's name is Stephen Holsey, and he is a resident there of Palm Springs.
Oh, I know him. Yes, he's wonderful. Yes. He's fabulous. And
so he'll be playing for us. We're very excited.
Now, did you have someone kind of sit back and direct the whole thing, or did the two of you and the pianist put it together yourselves?
That's such a great question. We have in the past had directors help us put our shows together. We're having a good friend that actually was just at CV Rep last night doing the Broadway Barbara show. Mm-hmm. And he does a lot of cabaret, so he's going to be our eyes this week, and basically we're going to show him what we've put together, and he'll be our outside eyes kind of directing it. His name is Mark Reese.
Okay.
But he hasn't been with our project the entire time. It's really Jana and I.
Yeah. Now, I love to ask, because I'm a singer myself, and I love to ask performers a couple questions. First of all, do you have any rituals that you do, any certain prayer, meditation, or anything that you do before you go out on stage?
Yeah, Jana and I both do. In having a career that you want to have longevity in it, we are very much we warm up our bodies. We both do yoga. We both do meditation. And as far as our singing voices, I have a 15-minute vocal warm-up I do, so Jana has hers. And then what we normally would do is our first and last song, so we can just connect vocally. Mm-hmm. Our voices are very similar, but even when we started this process, putting this show together, we hadn't sung together in, I would say, a good 2 years.
Wow. Okay.
So it's like we have to get back to being a duo as opposed to an individual soloist.
Yeah.
Who
you mentioned inspiration before, vocally, for you particularly, who have been some of your vocal inspirations along the way?
Oh, that's such a great question. I mean, when we were kids, like I said, we listened to Julie Andrews, of course, and, Kel Burnett, she has always been a huge inspiration as far as, like, comedic and singing, because she started her career on Broadway.
And she's got some pipes, yeah.
Yeah, she definitely does and did back in the day, too. But, like, I think what I actually we talk about that particular inspiration. We talk about listening to Music Man and West Side Story and Marlo Thomas's Free to Be You and Me. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. But then also like the others like Joni Mitchell and Billy Joel and Simon and Garfunkel and Amy Grant and Lionel Richie. Like
so
these
many.
were literally all records that we used to play on our Fisher-Price record player and try to imitate those voices,
Yeah.
And then eventually I think you just come to a place where it's like, okay, this is my voice. And you stop imitating, right? You start kind of coming to terms with what do I sound like?
Right.
And what do I want to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Julie and Jana Cardia, it's called Twinspiration, CV Rep, part of the Summer Cabaret Series, July 24th, 7 p.m. Tickets, you can go to the website, www.cvrep.org, or call 760-296-2966, extension 115. Julie, break a leg, best of luck, say hi to your sister. I know it's going to be great. Thank you so much for being here.
Bonnie, you're the best. Thank you.
All right, Julie Cardia, thank you, and we'll see the rest of you the next time on The Desert Scene.
The Desert Scene is a production of the Mutual Broadcasting System and is sponsored by El Portal Mexican Restaurant. Eat at elportal.com.